What's going on, everybody? My name is Levi Washington, and this is my first time going live on YouTube. So today, I think we're just going to do a little bit of reading. Not sure if anybody's going to show up on here. Most of my audience is over on TikTok or on Instagram, but I am looking to move a little bit more content over here. For now, we're going to start by reading a little bit from my book that I released last year. It sold over 1,000 copies. It's doing quite well on Amazon, well reviewed, well loved, and I'm very proud of it. So, without further ado, Love Isn't by Levi Washington. Where else to start but the beginning, right? We are intrinsically entranced by the infinite chances that enchant us, by the intimate dances between questions and answers, behind the innocence of passing glances. Perspective. The grass is always greener on the other side. We've all heard this cliche, and yet we continue to trespass. Is it desperation? Is it ignorance? Is our vision so impaired by the muddied perspective of our own mess? We must understand that no matter how tempting the opportunity of a blank canvas may look, that canvas in and of itself will not make us better painters. Is it not tragic how we've mastered the art of creating the same chaotic mess over and over, canvas after canvas? Would it not be ridiculous to continue to blame the canvases? When will we see that climbing over fences to chase mirages of greener pastures will never save us from ourselves? We must remember that wherever we go, we are there. We must consider that in the equation of repeating patterns, we are the common denominator. Do the math. Hit that like button for me, guys. Poem. It's become a strange familiarity to seek familiarity in strangers. Perspective. Every time I look at you, I'm looking for someone else. Cinderella is nothing more than a fairy tale. You can't fill these glass slippers. I know it. You know it. And yet we both deny it. Maybe one day it will just click, right? Fake it until you make it, right? As long as you continue to remind me of the past, I can see you in my future. I know Frankenstein is just a story. I can't mix and match all my favorite parts. As long as I'm hanging on to what is behind me, I will be unable to take hold of what is right in front of me. If I refuse to let go of either, I will remain torn, divided, and insecure. I will continue living with one foot on either side of the fence named integrity. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Poem. We are strangers at night, dancing down side streets of cities that don't know us, hoping to find something concrete to hold us. We are ghosts roaming alone beneath streetlights, seeking atonement for words left unspoken in a life that does not repeat twice. Perspective. We play in the shadows. We hide who we are. We fear being known. We keep people at a safe distance, and yet our souls crave those very things that we are running from. To be seen, to walk unashamed, to be accepted and loved despite all of the things that we want to hide. In my life, intimacy was the drug I used to feel close to that, even just for a moment. Validated, important, powerful, wanted, loved, open, and vulnerable. Only to face the inevitable, insidious, all too familiar emptiness begin to mix with the reality of my skin-deep integrity, scratching, clawing, and creeping in like the morning sunlight through the shades as yet another taxi pulls up. Poem. I hate that you aren't her. I love that you aren't her. Confession. I knew from the beginning that I was looking for the pieces that reminded me of someone else. I hate to admit it, but those were my favorite pieces of you. Maybe someone has looked at me in that way before too. It's not unlikely. It's actually kind of funny in a twisted sort of way to think that it was those very pieces that I clung to when you first betrayed my trust. It was not even you I was hanging on to. It was an idea of you, an idea of us. So maybe it was I who betrayed myself after all. I knew from the beginning. I wasn't there for you, I was there for me. You just filled the space. You just numbed the pain. What I've learned since, abusing painkillers often leads to addiction. Poem. My broken piece. Your broken piece. You believe I'll fix you. I believe you'll fix me. Perspective. Jagged edges perfectly matched like a forbidden jigsaw puzzle. Intensely satisfying symmetry and chemistry while in fleeting moments of alignment, but a serrated double edge at the slightest offset to the equilibrium. When it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. Some call it passion, but I have come to know it by its true name. Poison. Poem. The years, the tears, the fears, my dear, who taught you how to love? Perspective. We can only give from what we have first received. Therefore, we need to ask, what is the definition of love that we have been given look like? Because the love we are able to give can only be a reflection of that. Tragically, our definitions of love have far too often become eroded, broken, and abused beyond recognition as a result of our experiences and traumas. If we continue to receive our definition of love from those conditional, broken, and temporary places and people, the love we have been able to give will remain equally conditional, broken, and temporary. This includes the love that we are able to give to ourselves. Give me 1 minute and I will be right back with you. Hit that like button for me in the meantime. Just needed to grab a little snack. I could feel my stomach starting to make some noise, so probably gonna have to go get something to eat soon. Where were we? Poem. Maybe I still mention my ex a little too much. Maybe your touch still hurts a little too much. Your fingernails feel like the tips of those daggers pressed against my back again. 2 steps forward, and I'm back again. Perspective. The barbed blade of betrayal tears deep into our flesh and causes extensive internal damage. Trust becomes nothing more than 5 meaningless letters that leave a bad taste in our mouths. Trust issues are difficult to heal, especially if we do not diagnose and treat the wound properly. Consider that carrying trust issues into new relationships with people who did not break our trust makes us the common denominator. Therefore, healing trust issues is less about trying to learn how to trust others and more about relearning how to trust ourselves. The real problems are that we don't trust our own ability to choose whom to trust because we are wrong before. And we don't trust our resilience and strength to be okay if someone breaks our trust again. Our ability to trust ourselves is the foundation of our ability to trust others. Poem. Wounds not yet become scars will bleed through what has not yet become ours. Wounds not yet become scars will bleed through what has not yet become ours. Perspective. Wounds left without proper treatment will fester and poison our blood. We can become infected to the point we will have no choice but to amputate entire areas of our bodies to survive. Our hearts and our minds are no different. Consider this if you feel like your experiences and relationships seem to continually leave you with less and less access to the love, trust, patience, kindness, and courage of who you once were. It is of paramount importance to properly treat, heal, and rehab our wounds. Do not be too proud to seek professional help and therapy. Would you not see a surgeon if your body required surgery? Don't let your ego make you a hypocrite or keep you from freedom and healing. Remember, even though the scars and memories will remain, scar tissue is stronger than regular tissue. Three's a crowd tonight, hey? How you guys doing? Poem. From distractions to attachments, masking the past gets faster with practice. Perspective. We often use numbing or stimulating behaviors to avoid discomfort and pain. It's important to recognize that these are natural defense mechanisms, but they will keep us from dealing with reality until eventually we start to lose sight of it altogether. Maybe we look to narcotics or alcohol. Maybe we escape into video games or social media. Maybe we bury ourselves in our work. Maybe we jump from relationship to relationship. But if we continue to look to external sources for temporary relief from discomfort and pain, rather than deal with the root of the problem, the patterns will not only perpetuate, they will dig themselves deeper. And I think that that's a good note to end the YouTube live today. Something that I've been really thinking about a lot lately is the relationship between connection and mental health. And I'm going to continue to talk about this and talk about this and talk about this. I'm going to beat it until it is deceased. Because mental health is about connection. And most of the things that are sold to us in the world today are about disconnection. All the things that help us connect, a lot of the mental health and self-worth and personal development things are about connecting to something. Walking in nature, going to therapy, going to the gym, learning to work on your finances, all these different types of things. These are about learning to connect to your world, learning to connect to your body, learning to connect to other people. And we are constantly sold everyday disconnection through social media, through adult entertainment, through the food that we eat, through the lifestyle that we live, sedentary in our homes, all the rest of these things, Zoom meetings, text messages. Everything is about disconnection. And I think that if we feed one more than the other, it's like the good wolf and the bad wolf. Whatever one you feed more will consume you. And to be honest, most people are feeding more disconnection than connection in their day-to-day life. You are spending more of your time awake disconnecting from yourself and disconnecting and disconnecting and disconnecting than you are spending time doing things that connect you. And the more that we disconnect ourselves, that is what integrity really is. The definition of integrity means whole and undivided. And so we divide ourselves and we divide ourselves and we divide ourselves and we split ourselves, and there's nothing left of us, that we are spread so thin. There's nothing left of our identity. There's nothing left of our self-worth. There's nothing left. And the minute that we are left alone to our own devices and thoughts, all that's left is anxiety and depression. Because there's nothing left here in this moment. There's no connection here. And I think that is a really, really meaningful thing for people to start to understand. And I want to continue to lead in that conversation as best as I can. And I'm going to continue to do that. That is the new frontier of what I want to build. And hopefully you'll come along for that ride here on YouTube or over on TikTok or over on Instagram. But that is my heart. And that is what I want to continue to do. So thanks for listening. That was from my book, Love Isn't, my first publication. I have a self-awareness and shadow work journal coming out in a couple of weeks' time. And then now I'm going to be working on my second Poetry and Perspectives book as well. So stay tuned for all of that. Follow along, like, subscribe, comment, join the conversation, and let's get connected. Thanks.